Assassin's Creed is one of the greatest game series I have ever played, from the changing environments and eras to its revolutionary stories and unforgettable protagonists. While many argue and state that Assassin's Creed is a shadow of its former self, it always finds a way of getting our attention. What was different this time around was that Ubisoft decided to stray away from the yearly Assassin's Creed release and instead opted to release Assassin's Creed Origins 2 years later after Assassin's Creed Syndicate had released. Instead of progressing further ahead and getting closer to the modern day story, Ubisoft decided to take us back further than we had ever been before. Long requested by many fans, Ubisoft decided to set Assassin's Creed Origins in ancient Egypt, where we would follow the story of Bayek of Siwa, the last Medjay, and discover how the Brotherhood came to be. The premise was enticing, and the fact that we would see famous historical figures like Cleopatra and Julius Caesar, well, who could pass up an opportunity like that? When Assassin's Creed Origins came out, it changed everything, especially the way we played Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Origins would be the start of what I call the Assassin's Creed RPG saga. Although this game is not an RPG game, later games like Odyssey and Valhalla would later build upon Origins' model and add RPG elements to it. Assassin's Creed Origins was developed by the same team that helped create Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and you guys already know how much I love that game. With Assassin's Creed Origins, it redefined what it meant to be an assassin. This truly was the origin of a new saga that Assassin's Creed desperately needed. When I first laid my hands on Origins, it was phenomenal, and I got addicted playing it for many hours. As always, I like to explore as much as possible before diving into the story, and Origins exceeded my expectations. Egypt had a lot to offer, from its raging, hot, blistering deserts to the pyramids of Giza, its luscious cities, and the people. While I was on the hunt for collectibles, I couldn't help but be awestruck of the environment around me. I spent countless hours climbing different buildings, going into caves, exploring cities, fighting animals, and crossing into enemy territories. This was and still is a perfect game for those who like to explore a diverse open world and discover its secrets. One of the big features that Origins included was the ability to take photos and being able to discover other players' photos throughout the game, which was really cool. We never had this feature in any of the other previous games, and it was a welcoming addition in my book. One of the other big changes Assassin's Creed took was replacing Eagle Vision with a literal eagle you could see from. I thought this was cool, and it reminded me of when I used drones in Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands to see targets and other items of interest. Our eagle even has a name. Her name is Senu, and she has been Bayek's companion for a long time. One of the things I also really enjoyed about Origins was that we could now customize our gear in the game and have a whole new range of weapons to choose from. The gear in Origins was color-coded, with each color signifying how strong the weapon was. We also had access to many cool different outfits for Bayek and cool skins for our horse. We also had the option to customize how we wanted Bayek to look, although this feature was limited. I really enjoyed the gameplay for both the stealth and combat options. The stealth felt really smooth since you could find different ways of taking out your enemies. For example, you could use your hidden blade, a bow with arrows, poison, fire, releasing caged animals, and more. The combat was also very different. You could fight using many different types of weapons, and you could switch to using your shields or firing arrows at your enemies. Dodging was also very cool in Origins. It reminded me of how players would roll in games like Dark Souls. The parkour was also very good. While it isn't my favorite in the series, it's very reliable, especially when you have to scale large buildings or have to move fast in areas filled with enemies. There were also plenty of side missions and activities to do that helped give more context to the story of Origins and showed us who Bayek really was and his role as the last Medjay of Egypt. One of my favorite activities of all time was the Trial of the Gods, where you had to fight Sekhmet, Sobek, and Anubis. The Trial of the Gods was very challenging but full of fun and explosive action. I got to say, exploring and defogging the whole map of Assassin's Creed Origins was very fun, especially finding every new side quest, activity, and collectible. This game truly revived my interest in revisiting Assassin's Creed and seeing what the future games would have to offer. Just from everything that I have mentioned so far, the game is a 10 out of 10 for me. A cool feature that Origins included was the ability to play this game on New Game Plus, meaning you would be able to have all your skills and weapons that you collected the first time in the game and be able to use them in your second playthrough. It was very exciting when I streamed my New Game Plus walkthrough of the game, and while I had all my gear and skills, the game also became more challenging since enemies were just as strong as me, or in some cases they were even stronger. This game definitely challenges you to think of new ways in how to fight or how to use stealth in different situations. Now that we've talked about all the things Origins has to offer, let's talk about the most important thing that ties all of it together. The story is right at the center, and it is what really helps sell the game to the audience. The story starts us off with a cinematic look of ancient Egypt until we're transferred to a wrathful Bayek killing a man named Rujek. We slowly start getting flashbacks into why Bayek is killing these men. We learned that Bayek had a son named Khemu with his wife Aya. One day Bayek takes his son out and teaches him to hunt. There he teaches Khemu about what it means to be a Medjay. Bayek is tied up and questioned by men in masks who are holding his son hostage about opening a vault, but he doesn't know a thing about the vault. Khemu steals a knife to free Bayek from his restraints.
Tell us!
I don't know.
We must go now. I will cut the heart from the boy.
No, wait.
wait.
He will never know the afterlife.
No, I will tell you. I will tell you.
He's fallen for time. What's this? Stop! This is madness! The snake takes that as your answer.
With Hemu's death, it starts a long journey of revenge against the men who took away his son away from him. Aya and Bayek's marriage becomes strained, but both take the vow of going after the people responsible for their son's death. Slowly, they hunt down the 5 men responsible for killing Hemu, only to find out that these men are part of a bigger group called the Order of Ancients, and they threaten all of Egypt with their heinous plans. Knowing that there are more of them, both Aya and Bayek plan to stop them to restore Egypt back into the hands of the people. Cleopatra becomes their biggest ally since she was thrown out of power by the Order of Ancients to use her brother Ptolemy as a puppet to rule the land. Both Bayek and Aya pledge themselves to help restore Cleopatra as the pharaoh and rightful ruler of Egypt. Bayek and Aya meet many allies throughout their journey that help them take out members of the Order of Ancients that plague certain regions of Egypt. Eventually, it is revealed that Julius Caesar and his closest advisor, Septimius, are members of another faction of the Order of Ancients and have come to claim Egypt alongside Cleopatra. With this betrayal, Bayek and Aya alongside their allies feel like their fight was for nothing until Bayek gives a speech to rally together the Brotherhood of Allies they have forged.
I was wrong. I am responsible. When my boy died, I fought back with rage and anger. But this only made them stronger. We are all different, but we fought together to put Cleopatra on the throne. Now this was a mistake, my friends, but at least it brought us together. Now our enemies are hidden behind crowns, working in the shadows of kings and queens. Who are the ones that work in the shadows for the people? We are. Something has come of all of this, and it starts right now. We must continue the fight and defend the free will of the people. And no matter how small, our brotherhood is the only hope. And our kingdom needs no crowns. What we believe in, our values, our creed, will unify us. And I promise that for all the songs of Egypt, I will be the father I was not that day in Siwa.
Bayek and Aya, alongside their allies, now concentrate on taking out Septimius and Julius Caesar. They are successful in taking them out, and we get to see Aya partake in the Ides of March, which was very cool if you have read the history behind Julius Caesar's assassination by the Roman Senate. With the Order of Ancients out of Egypt, Bayek and Aya both realize that the fight is now over since the Order is spread throughout the world, and that this fight will last long after they are dead. Bayek and Aya decide to dissolve their love and marriage to create the Hidden Ones to help fight back against oppression instilled by the Order of Ancients. Aya renames herself as Amunet and relocates to Rome to create a Hidden Ones bureau there with her allies, while Bayek stays behind in Egypt and creates the Levantine Brotherhood. Both these factions will be the nexus in reforming the Brotherhood into the Assassins in the future and create the legendary heroes Ezio and Altair respectively. The Assassin's origins is experienced by Layla Hassan via the Animus in present day. She starts off as an employee of Abstergo who is doing off-the-books research until Abstergo comes looking for her and kills her friend. Layla kills the Abstergo agents and begins to learn both Bayek and Aya's skills via the Animus until she is found by William Miles and is brought into the Assassin Brotherhood. Overall, I got to say, Assassin's Creed Origins was one of the most fun experiences I have ever had with Assassin's Creed. Everything from the environment, story, side activities, and combat was fun to explore. If you have never played an Assassin's Creed game before, this is a very good game to start off in. The game is a 10 out of 10 for me, and it is in my top 5 favorite Assassin's Creed games of all time. I hope you enjoyed why I think Assassin's Creed Origins is so good. In my next video, I'll be covering Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but if you guys enjoyed this video, consider becoming a subscriber and leaving a like on this video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.